until the flagman, he'll count down the laps, and he'll hold them 10 to go. And if you're leading 10 to go, all of a sudden your heart starts beating a little bit faster. The breathing starts to get a little bit quicker, or more deeper or shallower, however you want to call it. And you just try to concentrate on what we call in racing, hitting your marks. On the throttle, off the throttle, at the same spots each and every time, trying to be consistent. So, yeah, there's a lot of nerves involved with it. You try to dial them out, but they're obviously there, definitely. So that's like, so when you win and everybody comes running out, it's great, all the fans are cheering and stuff. Then they put that microphone in front of you. Like, you can't even hardly remember your name. It's so embarrassing. You want to list all the people that have helped it, all the sponsors and everything. I mean, there's just a bunch of great people, and you're so amped up. you stammer for words. You're like, oh my God,
And it's like scary because when you have all that people out there, like you're like, if I mess up.
Well, it is. I mean, everybody goes out there expecting to win. Everybody wants to win, but like when it comes down to it, and you're winning, and you know that just potentially is like one of your few chances throughout the year, you don't want to mess it up. So the nerves get kind of high.
Yeah. So is it hard to balance being a coach and a racer?
Yeah, it really was. I did it for a few years, and I would say maybe 8 years ago, I had to give up coaching because it was just coaching every night, prepping, practicing, trying to build cars in the off season during basketball. It's fun. I love doing both, but I really needed to give up on something and concentrate on another. So I decided, let's concentrate on the race car. It was kind of like I think I told you, it was kind of a bucket list thing. I didn't set out to become the next Dale Earnhardt Jr., just a mailman that wanted to drive a race car. And at that point, I really had some good people around me. So I said, I really need to try to focus on this, make it work, and really kind of do the best that I could, not only for myself, but for them, for all the time and effort that they put into it.
It's good to get back up with the people that can help you and not the people that bring you down. Because if you grow up with the people that are like, come on, keep on doing this, you're my buddy or something, like then you're going to learn that no other people's, that not the rude people's, what they say just doesn't matter, because like you've been growing up with the people that actually say kind things, and like you believe that because if you keep on doing that, then you'd believe that over the
true. Very true. Sometimes you have to make some hard decisions in life as far as the people that you want to keep around you. You want to be loyal to friends, and sometimes it takes a little while, but you realize that some of those friends aren't really your friends, and you kind of hate to break those bonds. I've always felt sometimes you need to continue your climb up the ladder. Absolutely.
And like, I hate to say this, but it's sometimes for the best.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's not sometimes. If you figure out that they're not a real friend, then it may be hard, but it's going to be a lot better. And like, I don't like this, and I don't want to say that, but if you figure out that a fake friend is not a friend, then if you guys are not friends, then I think it's for the best, because then that you have good friends around you that can bring up the environment and that can bring up the mood.
Oh, totally agree. Especially with racing, is we need to have everybody pulling in the same direction. Mm-hmm. And that's all it takes is one bad egg, somebody that I couldn't trust to do something correctly or that type of a thing, to whereas that type of a person may not be the best fit for what we're trying to do. Some people don't have the benefit of having a lot of people, having some great people around them, and it took me quite a few years to do that. But now I'm just so blessed to have the people that we have, and we have fun, we laugh, we joke. They pick on me, they make fun of me, and I need that sometimes. That's totally fine.
So, what inspired you to get back up after you lost a race or you lost your time to get a trophy?
It's like life. It's a challenge. You're going to have some
Ups and downs.
Yeah, you're really going to have some great races, and you're going to have some races that you don't want to remember. We talked about it before. I've gone out there on a track and have done some surprisingly amazing things, finishes that I never thought I was going to get. Just done some great things, mostly because of the people that are around me that have helped prepare this car for me. A little bit of luck involved, some skill involved, but hence, some nights I've gone out there and I've had people get mad. I've told you it's part of racing. Sometimes you do some boneheaded stuff. You don't do it on purpose, but it happens, and none of us are professionals, and you just either accept it, apologize for it, and dust yourself off and keep going forward. Used to have a little bit of a problem with that. I used to kind of take stuff a little too personal, but now with the people that we have, and Bunker, my crew chief, who's been in racing for years, he helps me kind of brush it off, and we go forward to the next race.
So who got you into racing and coaching?
So, like I said, the racing thing was kind of a bucket list deal, but as a kid growing up, we'd always go to Thunder Road. So I was always a huge fan going to Thunder Road. One of my favorite drivers was Robbie Crouch. I just love the way that him and his crew, how they approached racing and the preparation that they had. And he just kind of seemed to be one of those drivers that was never really out of control type of thing. And so I always kind of looked up to that. It was that, and also a friend of mine locally, I grew up in Randolph, Kip Stockwell, who is kind of jumping on the car this year. He's helping us out with some parts and stuff like that from Stockwell's Garage. Kip Stockwell used to race, so I didn't know anything about race cars, really cars in general. And him and his dad and his family were willing to take me under their wing and show me the ways of how they do things, and I kind of got the bug that way type of deal.
2 words for you: Burt Reynolds.
Yes. But he's just an iconic individual. I mean, everybody knows Smoking a Bandit. Mm-hmm. I think I heard you and your dad talking about Smoking a Bandit. If you haven't seen it, you definitely have to check it out. Just became a huge film that I don't think anybody really expected to be huge. But Reynolds has now passed away, sadly, but he was famous for his black Trans Ams. And, I think that the Trans Ams that they used in that movie, I think actually somebody said they had like NASCAR motors in them and stuff, or, they really played it up to, more so than what it is, but, oh God, Burt Reynolds. Yeah,
R.I.P.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, how do you get sponsors, and what are your sponsors?
So, sponsorship sometimes is harder than others. I have an event barn here at my house, so I own Spruce View Event Barn, so I myself sponsor a race car. I put my name on the car, but I also sponsor a race car. And it just comes back to local people, local businesses in the community, supporting local people. And so I just happen to have the right friends or the right connections. Sometimes you have to pound on a few doors. Sometimes you have to send like a sponsorship package to them type of thing. Emails, text messages. Racing doesn't really happen without their support. I would say up until the past year or so, pretty much most of the sponsorship came out of my pocket. So, and that's okay because it's my hobby, but it's neat to be able to involve other businesses to help get them exposure. Now that we live stream at Thunder Road, my God, I think they said at times there's like 40,000, 50,000 people that are watching us race at Little Thunder Road in Barrie, Vermont. So we actually have a value that we can bring to businesses and sponsors and stuff like that. So with saying that, we've got a great bunch of sponsors. We have, and we talked about it, the Black Bears this year is our title sponsor. Hence the shirt. Yeah, a little promotion there. I believe they have 14 17 teams. They've got a bunch of kids involved in their programs. They've got a bunch of adults involved in their programs. So they're a title sponsor this year. And one that I really kind of had to work on, and I'm just totally psyched that we landed, Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza. Yeah, it's one of those things. I knew somebody who knew somebody that we worked with, that this gentleman ended up having like one of them, two of them. Now he owns like 12 of them. So it's just a matter of the right people, the right time, knowing somebody, making a few right phone calls, text messages. So Domino's is on the car this year. They used to be at Thunder Road for a number of years, so it's exciting to have them back. So we've got Domino's, Forbin's, we've got J.A. Gould Plumbing and Heating, great people, Dirty Rock Stone Cleaner, the Vermont Sporting Journal Stone Service Station, I think you maybe passed them coming up, hence my event barn, Spruce View Event Barn, and Stockwell's Garage. We have them coming on. And you guys are going to get us some stickers. We're going to put some stickers on the car for Connor's Motivational Mornings. So we'll find a place. We'll put some stuff on there, and we'll make sure that we spread the word on what you guys are trying to do.
What's the paint on this car going to be?
No paint. It's going to be vinyl. It's going to be like I don't know if you've ever heard of vinyl wrap on a car, like
Isn't it red?
Yeah, it's any color you want, but it's like a skin that they stretch over it and they heat it and they put it on that way. We kind of had to go that way because we were invited to go to the expo, to the Motorsports Expo at Berry Auditorium, the 29th and 30th of this month. So Thunder Road invited us to come along. So there's going to be a few of our cars, a few of the Flying Tiger cars, a few of the late model cars, and so we're going to be there on display. So everything got moved up about a month and a half. So I said, okay, we're going to have to go. We're going to go the vinyl wrap route. So that's what we're going to do.
So, how did your race career even like start? Like, what made it start? Like I know it was a bucket list thing, but like, what gave you the idea to put it on your bucket list?
Just seeing the teamwork involved, and like I said, being in coaching and being around coaching and helping out, like I said, when I was younger at Stockwell's, knowing what it took to race a competitive car day in, day out, and all the conversations and the teamwork, and they're doing this, we're doing this type of thing. So that really got me interested in it. So I had to find a car. So I looked in the rules, and I said, okay, you can run this type of car. I looked all around. I couldn't find a car that I really wanted. So my first race car was a Grand Am, a 2.4 liter Grand Am, and I went about 15 miles outside of Philadelphia to get it. Immaculate condition. My brother-in-law went with me, and he goes, there's no way you're going to tear this car apart because it's beautiful. I'm like, nope, we've gone this far. It's going to be a race car. So that's kind of how it started. And then I had to find people to help me out. So through a buddy of mine, John Pellegrini, my neighbor, kind of through the woods, he goes, I know this guy, Randy Johnson, that is looking for a garage to help build some enduro cars. He goes, I bet if you called him and said, hey, you can use my garage if you help me build my race car. So I called him up. I kind of knew Randy a little bit from coaching basketball. So I called him up and I said, hey, I kind of did this thing, and I heard you need a place to build some enduro cars, and I'm like, let's work out a deal. And he jumped on board. Just a great individual. He was technically my first crew chief. We were just doing the best that we could with the knowledge that we had, and sadly, we lost Randy, I think, 2 or 3 years ago to cancer. So that was a real tough thing. So on our race cars, we always put special thanks, Big Johnson, or a Big Johnson forever type of thing, because he's always with us. Whenever something goes good or something goes bad, I'm always like, darn you, Randy, or hey, thanks, Randy. Or something like that. So yeah.
So, were you ever bullied as a kid, and was it a toxic environment growing up?
So I was thinking about this. I've always been kind of the big kid. So I do remember when I was fifth grade, there was this kid that was always bigger than me, and he'd always push me around. Like, we'd play on the snowbanks, and he'd always make sure that he'd find me and push me off the snowbank or just get in my face, that type of a thing. And back then, there wasn't really a great avenue to deal with it. I just kind of tried to deal with it as a kid type of thing. I mean, ultimately in life, we get through it. So that's why when you guys reached out to me about what your cause is and how you guys are spreading the word type of thing, that's why I said absolutely. Anything we can do to help spread a positive message about how kids can deal with bullying and different avenues to deal with that, that's what we're all about. I enjoy taking the car to the car show, seeing the kids that are involved and stuff, and talking to them and the questions that they ask, that type of a thing. But when you talked about being bullied, I'm like, yeah, I said, I never really truly experienced it, but it's neat that we have this avenue now.
So that's all the questions I have.
That's all the questions you have?
Yeah.
Oh boy, now I don't know what else you want to talk about.
Well, we could talk about we could talk about the cars here.
Absolutely. So, what this is, unfortunately, it's not painted. It's like I said, it's not painted. That's going to happen tomorrow. This is a 1998 Dodge Neon. There's only 2 of them up there now, I think, maybe 3, but it was usually myself and another gentleman, and I think he sold his car to another racer. So I think there's still going to be 2 Dodge Neons up there. And one of the main reasons why I chose the Dodge Neon was for the motor. The motor-wise, it's a pretty powerful motor. Stock from the factory, it's a decently powered motor. We can't really do a lot to them. You can bore them over like 20 thousandths or something like that. But luckily with this car, we don't really have to do a ton because right from the factory, it's got all kinds of power. So that's one of the reasons why I chose the Dodge Neon. And like I said, it's different. I like to do something that's different, not what everybody else has out there. Sometimes this car is an advantage, sometimes it's a disadvantage.
So, I don't know if you guys can see it. Back there, there's a bunch of trophies.
Yeah.
So, how long did it take you to get a lot of those trophies?
Oh, God, years. 10 years, easily 10 years. 10, I haven't counted. 10, 11, 12 years. Maybe 1 or 2 a season. I think some of those trophies are up there. I've won a few car shows. At the beginning of the year, we have a car show where everybody displays their cars, and they're all shiny and nice and everything. So I won some trophies for that. But there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in those trophies. Like I said, the opportunity to win races doesn't come often in the season. You really have to, most of the time, make your way from the back, mid-pack to the front, and you have to capitalize on it. So, yeah, proud of the trophies. Took a long time, a lot of money, a lot of effort. So that's what we have the show for it. Plus the fun times.
So, where are you racing this year?
This year we're going to be racing pretty much strictly at Thunder Road. Maybe we'll go over to White Mountain. That's another racetrack. It's in New Hampshire.
White Mountain's cool.
Yeah, maybe we'll try something like that. But I think based on my schedule, how I working ungodly hours at the post office, and like I said, owning my own business here, it just works for us to kind of stay local and concentrate at Thunder Road.
You're working almost every day, every minute, every hour.
Easily 6 days a week. I have my guy coming tomorrow to wrap this, and that was the only way I could get my day off. Monday was to tell them that I had somebody coming and I couldn't make it. So yeah, they definitely wanted me to work.
So I see you have different car numbers, 48 and 34. Do they mean anything?
Yeah. So when you start out, you go through they'll have a master roster of who has what number. So when I first went to the Thunder Road office, which was in Waterbury at the time, I'm like, all right, I'm walking up the stairs, and I had my application and everything, and so I gave them the application, and the lady said to me, she goes, all right, what number do you want to be? And I'm like, I never thought about that. I'm like, I just wanted to put my application, so I'm looking around, right behind her desk was one of my favorite drivers, big picture on the wall, Robbie Crouch. So I looked at her and I said, number 48, and that's what his number was. So I was that number for the longest time, and about 2 or 3 years ago, when I sent in my application, you have to send in each year to renew your license, I missed the deadline by about 9 days. I didn't think much of it because I'd always had 48 for the past 10 years. Well, I had lost it. So I kind of needed to find another number. So that year I went to 84. I just flipped it. And then after that, I'm like, all right, I got to find a number that I can stick with, that I can kind of be associated with. So we chose 34. So I've always been 34 ever since.
So, believe it or not, 34 is actually my basketball jersey number.
Oh, cool.
I mean, one of them. My other one's 33. But are you going to stay in this division?
Probably. I'm at the point in my life right now where I keep threatening every year, this is it, I'm done, I'm not coming back. But the people that I have around me, my buddies, my teammates, our sponsors, they're all supportive. They're like, hey, what are you doing next year? Like last year, we had a really great finish. I had one of my sponsors call me up and say, hey, count me in for next year. Whatever you guys are going to do, count me in, I'm coming back. But at some point, it's got to be time to be done. So I'm no spring chicken. That's no big secret. But I have fun doing it, and I have great people around me. We'll see after this year. So, yeah.
2 things.
Yes, sir.
One, what is your typical race day?
Oh, good question.
Is it like busy? Is it?
Oh, yeah. So what we try to do on Wednesday night, we have the guys show up here at the shop, and we get the car what we call race ready for Thursday. So that involves getting all the tires that we want on the car, making sure that we have the proper stagger. I don't know if you know what stagger is we run different size tires from like the right side to left side, front to rear.
Yeah, because then it can make it more...
It turns better. So we make sure that that's all set. We make sure that we string the car. So we line up the tires, and we run a string down them and make sure that everything's lined up straight. And we set our toe, we set our caster. So everybody comes over Wednesday night, gets the car ready, loads it. I bring it to me to work at the post office. I park it out in the parking lot, and run like mad all day long Thursday to try to make it up to the track. And like I said, literally, I'm hopping in my truck, heading up to the track, and as I walk through the back gate, I still got my Mailman uniform on.
Think you might be the first Mailman race car driver in all of Vermont.
I don't know. I imagine there's been others, but you just got to do what you got to do. I just happen to be a mailman, and we enjoy racing. And just do what you got to do to try to make it up to the track, to make it on time so we can get our practices in. We usually have like 2 practices to try to get the cars close to race ready, that type of a thing. And yeah, so it's fun. That type of a thing. Oh, so yes, this is a bracelet that when we do car shows and things, we usually pass out a bunch of like stickers, bracelets, koozies, that type of a deal.
Shirts.
Yes, we have some shirts coming. We ordered a bunch for this year with this year's color. They have not come in yet, but knowing you guys were coming up, I said, I'm going to give this to Connor so Connor can have this. So this is just a little something you can have. We'll have some other ones at the car show, I think, with you're welcome, the appropriate color and stuff. And as soon as you guys get your stickers and decals, we'll make sure that we put them on the car.
The Racing Mailman, guys. So, Talladega Nights.
I take it you've seen that movie.
Yes.
So it's a funny movie. It's hysterical. I love the movie. But trust me, it's as far as racing wise, it's nowhere near accurate. It's more for funny movie theater type of thing. Kids, absolutely. But anything like that brings racing to the fans. People get a chance to see something that they've never seen before. It's all good for the sport. As a matter of fact, I was watching on the race, I think last weekend, or a racing podcast that I was watching, somebody said they're talking about making a Days of Thunder 2. I don't know if you've ever heard of Days of Thunder.
I don't think.
Days of Thunder is a very famous racing movie that Tom Cruise was the lead actor in. That movie became very popular. So talking about movies, so yeah, they are talking or speculating that they're going to be making a Days of Thunder 2. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Have you ever watched NASCAR?
Watch what? NASCAR.
Yeah.
No. What is it?
Wait.
NASCAR or NASCAR?
I might be thinking of Talladega Nights.
I don't know.
I don't know. But what struggles do you have when you race?
I think probably like anybody else is nerves. It's a real nerve-wracking thing. I think it's an adrenaline thing. I think that's what is the attention, or draws the attention or the enthusiasm to a lot of the drivers, is that kind of a feeling of being on the edge. So when you're getting buckled in, you're getting ready to go out on the track, we all have our routine that we go through, and helmet, seatbelt, Hans, making sure that we have everything just set to go. And I myself will say like a little prayer before I go out, that type of a thing. So you're all nervous. But for myself, all that ends when you start pulling out onto the track, and then the nerves becomes business. You're out there to race. You know, stuff's going to be happening. It's going to be happening really fast. So the nerves for me just go away, and you just go out there and just do the best that you can.
So are we done, or do you have any more things that you want to say?
I didn't happen to catch. Dad has a note for us. Where are we racing this year? Yeah, we're going to be racing at Thunder Road. At Thunder Road.
You might race at White Mountain.
Yeah, maybe at White Mountain a race or two. Thinking about doing the Milk Bowl this year, which is a big special race at the end of the season. It's a non-points counting race. It's got a real unique starting system to it. So what they'll do is everybody will go out and we'll time trial. We'll run like 2 or 3 laps. And they'll start the fastest person up front, slowest person in the back. And they'll race 25 laps for us. Other divisions, it's like 50 laps. Based on that finish of that race, what they do is they invert the field. So ultimately, the winner of the Milk Bowl is the driver that acquires the least amount of points. So the best score that you can get would be 2, a first place in the first race and a first place in the second, and that's kind of how they go. So we definitely would like to do that. My crew chief Bunker has been multi-track champion at Thunder Road and White Mountain and stuff like that. We have a seat up above the garage. We have a seat all ready to bolt in for him. So if I ever need somebody to hop in, Bunker can do it. I'd like to get Bunker maybe to do the Milk Bowl for us, or maybe to do a race over at White Mountain, however it works out. We couldn't race at the Milk Bowl this past year because we blew up our motor 2 laps to go in the last race. Oh my God, that was heartbreaking. Well, the car was super fast. We were having such a blast. I'm like, oh my God, 2 laps to go, kaplooey. So we couldn't make it to the Milk Bowl.
Berry event at BOR.
Yeah, so I briefly talked about, so it's it's an expo for race cars. I believe they call it the Motorsports Expo. And they used to have it up at the BOR many years ago, God, probably 20 years ago. And it was a real popular event. Different tracks, different drivers from all over New England, Vermont. They'd all bring their cars and kind of put them on display. And they'll have like people selling things related to racing products and stuff like that. And it's just a kind of a way to kick off the season, to show everybody, what different tracks have for different race cars and that type of a thing. And it's been pretty popular years ago. And based on the interest in what Justin St. Louis is doing to kind of bring it back, man, I'm tickled that he's gone through the effort to bring that back, to give the racers and the fans something to see pretty much before the snow goes off the ground, and get everybody all jacked up, get them to those local racetracks, not just on the road, but just racetracks all around New England. So it's a real honor to be part of that, to be asked to go do that.
So, when is your first race so the people out there can know?
So, I don't have the schedule right here in front of me. I believe it's the first weekend in May. So what we do is Saturday morning, we have the car show. So everybody brings their cars up. We all park around the track, and the fans can come up for 2 or 3 hours to walk around, check out the race cars, and we have things that we pass out to them, and autographed cards and that type of a thing. And then Saturday afternoon, we practice throughout the day. Then the next day, Sunday, is the first race of the season. So I'm not sure the exact dates, but I think it's the first Saturday and Sunday of May.
Okay.
So yeah.
Do you have any questions?
I know. I appreciate you guys doing what you're doing. I appreciate you on this platform. I forget who reached out to who, but as long as it happened, I'm excited about. And for yourself, it takes a lot of courage to do this. I don't think me being your age, I could do something like this. So that's pretty cool. That takes courage to do that, and asking the questions, and you guys being all professional and stuff. It kind of got me nervous too, type of thing. So I don't do this all. You guys have done this way more than me, but.
This is my second time.
Yeah, but you've done other things in the morning, the motivational things and stuff. So you've had cameras and the microphones and stuff. So that's really cool. So I say take that and build on it, and whatever we can do as far as our little race team or as a racing community to help you guys, spread the word. I'm all in.
Remember, guys, be buddies, not bullies. If you guys want to get our sweatshirts, contact Connor's Motivational Mornings. We got pink, purple, black, and gray. Okay, remember that. Thank you, Patrick. And next show is going to be the Race to Read program. So
that is a great organization. When it first started out, I was active with the Race to Read, but then based on work and working every single day of my life at the post office, I found it hard to be part of their group and bring different race cards to different groups and schools and kids, and the kids have to read their books in order to be able to sign the cars and stuff. And they have some drivers that are up back that sign autographs. And I will tell you, if I can do it this year, especially with the guys that I have now that take so much off me, wonderful group to be part of. I would love to be part of it again. It's just a matter of trying to make the Mailman schedule work, type of thing. But I'm glad you guys are doing that. That's a great program.
Well, thank you, Patrick, for coming here and talking with us.
Thank you so much. Sorry about the back roads getting up here, but oh my God, it's that time of the year in Vermont.
It was very muddy getting up here. Let's just say that.
Oh, I'm well aware of it too. So I thank you guys for braving the roads and coming up and talking with us.
We're slipping, sliding everywhere.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. It's been an honor, and good luck to you.
We appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.